afternoon. It is now 1 o'clock. Welcome everyone to the first quarter Governor's Commission on Supplier Diversity. My name is Keisha Rich. I'm the Deputy Commissioner for the Division of Supplier Diversity. We will call the meeting to order. Graham Melendez will be doing our roll call today. Graham.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
We will start with Representative John Bartlett, Commissioner Maurice Coates, Senator Stacy Donato, Commissioner Ellen Dunnigan,
Present.
Commissioner Angela Franklin,
Present.
Commissioner Dr. Rebecca Hawerda, Commissioner Christine Jeffers,
Here.
Commissioner Elizabeth Kiefner Crawford,
Here.
Representative Joanna King,
Here.
Commissioner Nick Lunn,
Present.
Commissioner Darren Patterson, Deputy Commissioner Keisha Rich,
Present.
Commissioner Carol Slager,
Present.
Senator Greg Taylor, Commissioner Francis Vega Steele,
Present.
and Chairman Gregory Wilson.
Thank you, Graham. Having quorum, Commissioners, you have in your packets the past meetings from the Monday, December 11th meeting. Would like to move to approve those meeting minutes?
I so move. Second.
I'm sorry, but thank you.
All right. It has been seconded and approved. Meetings have been approved. Also in your packet is the report of the Governor's Commission that is due to the Governor's Office March 1st from the Division of Supplier Diversity. Do we have a motion to approve the Governor's report?
I move. Second.
Moved and approved, and the Governor's report has been approved. Thank you so much. Next up, we have elevator pitches. So the Division of Supplier Diversity selects 4 vendors each commission meeting to give their elevator pitch. These vendors are selected because they have not done work with the state of Indiana or have not worked with a state educational institution. Each vendor will be given 4 minutes. Vendors, as a reminder, your 4 minutes you will be presenting here. Graham Melendez, who is seated behind you, will give you your 1 minute remaining time marker. Again, I wanted to let you know because it is quite startling. He is very aggressive with his 1 minute. So just so it doesn't scare anyone. First up, we have Mr. Lenny Frierson with Frierson's Realty. Yes, sir. Be careful. Would you like some help passing that information out?
Yeah, we can do it if you want to get set up. Thank you. I got one. Go around. Oh, he's got it. Is it this one?
Thank you.
Hang on, I already got mine. Thank you.
I am Mr. Lenny E. Frierson. I'm owner of my real estate company, managed broker. I've been in business for 20-some years. Then I finished high school at 17 within the U.S. Army, and I retired as a grade of command sergeant major. But during that time, and it's not on here, I'm just gonna give you some things. My youth skills was started in the military. I was 24 years old, and I had a 1-star, 2-star general out of all the other NCOs that was at that post for me to be assigned to take over the division platoon, which was 380-some soldiers. From that, I didn't know what came with it. So it was NATO. I was a NATO NCORC for North Rally. That consisted of the British, the Dutch, the Danish, the French, and the German Army. In that airline battle, which cover all your aircraft, all your fast movers, all your ships, everything. And I had to go to intel school. And at that age, I didn't know what I was doing. but I had to go to High Command, which is Air Force Base, which is stationed down south. And from there, it progressed to Iraq and Saudi. When you seen all them missiles and all them aircraft, I was part of that, designing it for that to happen, to make that happen. And from there, I went to Hawaii. From Hawaii, did the same thing. Then, as I was retiring, I went to Fort Stewart, which was in Georgia. And then I got with housing. And in housing, myself, I started learning about urban planning. Urban planning to me was beautiful. And that's to help not only the state of Indiana, but any state talk about the infrastructure, to talk about multicultural, to talk about the housing, distressed property, and what I'm doing. And I've been doing this for years. With Arkansas is one of the biggest companies out there now. It's a mega company. In that, over the years, they assigned me property, more so distressed, for me to go in and clean it out and take it and remodel. And from there, then start doing commercial. And then that investment, I started putting a team together for investment. So at this point, I'm looking at the state of Indiana. I'm looking at, it's a lot of distress, not in just here in the city, but outside and other locations. Your water system, the lakes and ponds, your land. It's a lot of work that needs to be done here to make this go right. For me, I've been doing this and I've been good at it. You know, work with all your new builds, some of the big investors here. I haven't did a lot of commercial, but the residential, like Davis Home, Poacher Homes, I go find land for them, and they love it. So they call me and say, hey, we need this much land, this location, you know. So I did all my certification here, which I'm gonna name them off. You have contract law, service manager, network manager, desktop manager. I have the Indiana Business Enterprise, Minority Business Enterprise, Division Business Enterprise, and I'm certified in the one for the VA, which is service disabled veteran-owned business, and the disability business enterprise. So for the years, I've been having a compassion for people. And what I'm saying about this is a college, your young generation, women's and men's that they, in 40 years, have not bought a house for 50. What I do is I set up a plan for them to get the credit repair and go through the process so they can get a home in the future. And same with the distressed property. I have investors come in. What I do, I go find the house or the land. If they're gonna do a new build to be sold, and y'all, I don't have to tell y'all the areas. Y'all know the areas. You know, Bright Woods, all these different areas that, to me, is bad. That need to be redone. Your parks need to be redone. There's a lot of security and safety need to be done here in the city. The state, I mean, it's just numerous things I can sit here and talk. I mean, y'all already know. All I need is opportunity to get it done for you, to help out, be part of the team for the state of Indiana.
Thank you, Mr. Frierson. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you so much. Next up, we have Brianna Harrelson with Breeze Dance Place.
Thank you, Commissioners, for this opportunity. I am Brianna Harrelson, the founder and CEO of Breeze Dance Place, which is located in Maryville, Indiana. We are a multi-generational dance studio, and how we got started, guess what? I was pregnant with my first son. I couldn't find any activities, so I created bump and dance classes, which are pregnancy and new mom dance classes. I took it on a 7-city tour across this country at 6 months pregnant. Did that for a year, and then we opened our first physical location because another problem I saw was children were being overly sexualized through dance. So our dance studio focuses on age-appropriate choreography, costumes, and music. We're the largest Black-owned and fastest-growing dance studio in Northwest Indiana, and we really have dance for all ages, stages, and abilities. We're focusing on using dance to change lives. We've gone into the juvenile detention center, dance for students who have special needs, senior chair fitness. We just really know that dance teaches life lessons, and that's our motto. Discipline, perseverance. My degree is from Howard University. I received my Bachelor of Business Administration with a concentration in marketing and a dance minor. I've been dancing since the age of 7. I have 3 small children, 5 years old, 3 years old, and 1 year old, and I've danced throughout all pregnancies. And that's really just what we do in the community. We really use dance to change lives. Even in our recital that we have coming up this year, it's our daddy and daughter recital to show that dads are present in their children's lives. It builds bonds. And our next phase of growth, because we've outgrown our current studio, is we're combining dance and gymnastics to be the chief among our competitors in Northwest Indiana, and also an event space, because we do host a lot of events at our dance studio. And my main goal is to make dance accessible. So in the school system, even with the hospitals for the pregnancy and new mom, because I know that they need the education first and the inspiration, because I heard a lot of misnomers when I was pregnant. My OB said it was fine to dance, but your grandmothers, especially in the African American community, told me, like, if you lift your hands over your head, the baby's umbilical cord will be wrapped around their neck. That's not true. So I did a lot of education, and that's my role here. We've been recognized by a lot of great organizations, by Beyonce's foundation. Even with the All-Star Weekend that just happened, our business was on their platform to receive rewards by visiting our business, even though we're in Maryville. We've gotten over about $200,000 in grants because of our social impact and the lives that we're changing. We award scholarships to our students. So really with the state of Indiana, I'm looking to be a dance consultant for those who have programs with the hospital, with the school system, even with the universities. Also, if you have any programs for your staff to stay healthy through dance, because dance is a form of fitness, but it's fun, so you don't feel like you're working out. And that's really just to talk about nutrition and fitness and health and wellness, because for moms, me being a mom of small children, it gives me that joy and that exercise and that time away from my children, like today when I left them home with their dad. So dance, brings joy to our community, and we're really just a beacon of light. And we have a documentary out on Comcast, Comcast Rise. So it talks about our story and even just the values that was embedded in me from my mom. She passed before the dance studio opened, but she was the one who took me to dance classes. So it's like a full circle moment to see that, dance can teach life lessons for our children, determination, perseverance, just, focusing on love, and even grief, like how to get through grief, how to process grief through dance. So thank you for your time, and I think that's my time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
So how do you service, and you're in Maryville, Indiana, how do you service the state of Indiana if you have to be here in Indianapolis to service one of our
So we have
institutions?
virtual dance classes, and then I have a team. So I have a great team who makes sure that everything is taken care of, because I'm not physically the one teaching the classes. I hire staff. But yeah, we can definitely make it happen, virtual, in person, and then also contracting with other dance studios in this area, training people, because really our dance is dance, right? But dance with a mission changes things, because anybody can learn how to, move. But if you are learning the dance history behind it, the reason why you move, building that confidence and that discipline, that's where I come in to train those instructors on our method and how to do that, and then we expand from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Michelle Wainwright with Cute as a Cupcake.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Michelle Wainwright. I'm the owner of Cute as a Cupcake, Cupcakery and Bake Shop, where we bring one-of-a-kind experience to the world of baked goods. I'm super excited to be in front of you all today, so thank you so much for this opportunity. So I established Cute as a Cupcake back in 2015, and we proudly operate as a woman-owned minority women business enterprise. We have been able to do so many great things. We have a nonprofit division called Cutie Cares, where we focus on food insecurities and community wellness. So when I began to build the brand, I started out with the vendor fairs and the farmers markets. That then led me to our local mall with the kiosk, and I'm proud to say that we operate 2 brick and mortar locations. We have 2 cupcake food trucks, and we do have a presence online. So I like to believe that we specialize in all things cupcakes, and we focus a lot of our efforts and our intention on our featured product, which is here, our Cutie Cupcake in a Jar. So I have these visually for you guys to see today. Our Cutie Cupcake in a Jar is 2 layers of cake, 2 layers of icing, and an 8-ounce jar, and it is ready to eat. The beauty of this is simply its shelf life. You can refrigerate it for 30 days. It could be frozen for up to 6 months. And then once you take the lid off to eat it, you have 10 days to consume. Now, this has been phenomenal for us as far as how the business, we've been able to expand our footprint by shipping online nationwide. We have a storefront on Amazon, and we've been able to create some corporate partnerships with Country Crock and HelloFresh. So we really believe that this is the future of the organization, and it's given us confidence to dive into the tech space. We have launched our vending machine, which is refrigerated, and the vending machine has the capacity to dispense over 288 jars. So we find that the vending machine is really ideal for corporate spaces, it's ideal for schools, for universities, for sporting events, and we are trying to leverage our ACDBE certification, and we're in talks right now with the Indianapolis airport to be able to place the vending machine. So when I think about being able to have opportunities within the state of Indiana, we really want to, or I personally really want to build the brand to where it is known within the state. It's known, Eli Lilly is here in Indiana. We know that. Albanese candy is known in Indiana, and I want Cute as a Cupcake to also be known in Indiana. I want to be able to partner with the institutions, partner when it comes down to big events that come into the state, from All-Star Weekend to Indy 500. We want to be able to be one of those partners that is recognized in the state as a recognizable brand. So really, to conclude, is simply my belief, a life without cupcakes is a life without love, and we're looking forward to partnering with the state of Indiana. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, questions?
I feel like it's Shark Tank and we're not getting our samples. It's good to look at them, but it's better to taste it.
I agree.
I have samples for everybody in the room to try today.
Great.
So at the conclusion, I'll be able to have them in the back for you guys to sample.
No, I have no questions. Great elevator speech.
Let's get this moving. Right, yeah, let's go. Samples.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Next up, we have Precise Take Multimedia LLC, Aaron Chandler.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have to admit that my pitch changed this morning once I realized the significance of this day. My name is Aaron Chandler. I'm the president and founder of Precise Take Multimedia. Alongside me is Denise Harris, my newly appointed executive director. Along with Denise, I have a team here based in Indiana. It's my production team of 5, including certified drone pilots. My nationwide team consists of post-production, video editing, and web development. But I want to get to today. Just like many people here, I'm certified at both levels, the city and state, and I was founded the company in 2012 with a mission to capture and preserve memories for a lifetime. But it's incredible how things come full circle, because that brings me to February 23rd. When I received this invitation to speak today, I knew it was February 23rd, but I didn't realize it was February 23rd. February 23rd, there's some significance behind this date because February 23rd of 2018, I was sitting in ICU saying goodbye to my childhood hero, my lifelong friend, and my big brother. February 24th, we made the tough decision to remove him from life support. Now, why am I telling you all this today? In 2018, this is when my business model died. I felt empty. There was a void. And I didn't know how to move past it. So what did I do? I got on a plane, went to Denver, Colorado to attend a tech summit, met with Google and some other tech companies out there. And I was just inspired. Just being in that environment, I was inspired. And I came back to Indy. Shortly thereafter, I received a word from God. He said, Aaron, the reason why you're feeling empty because you were called to serve. And here you are with this for-profit company, but you're not serving anything. You're not making a difference. You're not affecting change. So what I did was I rebranded in 2018 with a mission to elevate brands with compelling storytelling and innovative digital strategies, ensuring each narrative we craft attracts and inspires action. Now, inspiring action, moving mountains, and affecting change. Why is that important? Because in 2019, that's when we onboarded our first organization who's actually out there trying to, on the Far East side, so I remember you from some of our interviews. That's what we're doing. We're working with these organizations, starting in 2019. These organizations like Pathway Resource Center, who are tackling in the streets, in the trenches, tackling wellness gap, gun violence, economic development, housing affordability, partnering with companies like RISE and America's Big Sisters, tackling education and inequality, IMPD tackling public safety, and so much more. I can go on, but for the sake of time, I won't. Now, why is this so important? Because your mission gives voice to the voiceless. Your mission gives hope to the hopeless. Your mission can save lives, and your mission is paving the way for the next generation. So here at Precise Take, we use our digital marketing strategies and content creation, social media management, and digital web development to shine a spotlight on your mission, not only to affect change in the community, but globally. My goal was to, when I left corporate, my background is in banking and finance for 23 years. In 2022, I left the corporate life, my corporate career, and I went full-time with this company. People laughed at me. They said, my colleagues said, why are you trying to leave corporate? Why are you trying to leave the benefits and everything? I said, because by 2025, I want to be an international digital marketing agency. November 1st of 2023, my team flew to Kenya to do work in Africa for Indiana-based and New York-based nonprofit organization. We are in the process of closing a deal to go to Morocco this year. Again, we're talking about change, changing lives, not only in the community, but abroad. What I want to do today is partner not only with this organization, but everyone in the room. I want to partner because you all have a mission. You all signed up in government, you all signed up in your nonprofit organization, you all signed up to make a difference. My job is to come in and not only capture what you're doing here in the city, but create a blueprint for change globally. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought somebody, I was listening for him. Okay.
He already said it, actually.
Okay. You were soft-spoken.
I know, right?
Okay, so I'll wrap up and say, I thank you all for you taking the time to let me speak today and inspire action, and I hope to partner with you also.
Thank you so much. The questions, any questions from the commissioners?
Will you be here after this is over?
I will.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you to all of our vendors today who gave an elevator pitch. What I will say to the commissioners, to everyone in the audience, state educational institutions, these are vendors in your own community. These are Indiana businesses right here at home. When you go to look for vendors in real estate, dance, cupcakes, multimedia marketing, please look at them first. Look at our list of vendors first, if possible. Thank you all again. Moving right along, we will move on to the state educational institutions. As a reminder to all of the representatives from the state educational institutions, you also have 4 minutes. Graham will loudly give the 1 minute warning for you all, and so that we're making sure that for state educational institutions, there are a lot more of you. We're being respectful of time. Please make sure to adhere to Graham's aggressive 1 minute warning. All right, first up, we have Indiana State University.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Bonnet from Indiana State University, and the university wants to welcome Brian Bromstrup. He is our new procurement director for the university and has been with us for an entire amount of 4 days right now. So, and so he gets to come here his very first week, which is great.
And I'm looking forward to working with all.
And so we're going to start off today in terms of our diversity spend for the quarter. Our MBE numbers were up slightly from the prior quarter, but essentially flat. WBE numbers improved from 1.21% to 6.33%, and this is in commodities and supplies during the quarter. In terms of construction, our MBE improved from essentially nothing the prior quarter up to nearly 12% in the quarter we're reporting on. And this was mainly due to subcontractor spending on 2 different projects that we have. And then WBE spending as far as construction improved from essentially 0 up to 3% during the quarter. In terms of professional services, our WBE professional services continue to be strong at 26.63%. Unfortunately, the professional services, the MBE professional services continues to be an area of weakness for us, which we're trying to address. In terms of constructions for the university, all our projects are advertised through Mid-State's Supplier Development Council. Also the IDWA, we send them to the Graham. And we also advertise our projects with 6 different planning rooms. Also to address our lack of XP spending in construction, we've also brought on Diversified. Hi, Leslie. And so Leslie is going to help us find other vendors for not only our construction projects, but on our normal bids as well. We're going to start advertising all our construction projects on their site, so we have more exposure than we do already. And a lot of our standard bids and things like that, we're going to have access to their database to allow us to bid to maybe more minority vendors than we would have been before. In terms of specific projects, our largest project is the Center for Technology and Engineering and Design that I think we've told you about before. It's about $66 million of construction cost. We have now selected the construction manager for that project, which is going to be CM Garmong, which is a local Terre Haute firm. 1 minute. We've emphasized to them the need for subcontractors on the project. Our goal is for 10 to 15% on the project. And since I'm running out of time here, we also have the Early Childhood Education Center, which is just recently kind of been finalized funding on it. It still does need state approval, and this is about $7.8 million. We also have a marketing proposal I need to tell you about. It's about $1 million In the RFP that we have out now, which is again is listed on Diversified, we're asking for MBE participation, and we're going to use that as a criterion for the selection of the marketing firm. We're also encouraging the marketing firms to have subcontractors that have XBE credentials. That worked out.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Questions from the commissioners?
On the local award firm, are you writing outreach for XBs into the contract?
They have specific targets that they need to meet, and essentially what they're doing on this project, on the technology and design project, we're doing it on a CMC basis, which maybe gives us a little bit more flexibility about selecting minority vendors. And it's definitely written in there. We had very specific requirements when the RFP, when we put it out for the construction manager. And now that we've hired the construction manager, Garmong, we've had numerous meetings, not me personally, but our senior vice president has, emphasizing the need that they must be there.
I have one question. You mentioned your professional services side. You're in the MBE perspective, from the MBE perspective, you say you're not hitting the numbers in that area currently?
Right, not doing as well as what we'd hoped.
What are some of the plans to target that and reach your goals?
Well, I think very similar to how we had the requirements in for the marketing bids is when we have larger bids like that, including similar language to what we have for the large marketing bid, just to say that, by the way, this is a criterion for what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Next up, Purdue University.
Good afternoon. Marie Davis, Manager of the Office of Supplier Diversity for Purdue University. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's a great crowd. Our diverse supplier payments to date are, as listed in the report, at a little over 2% for MBEs, a little over 5% for WBEs, and less than 1% for veteran-owned businesses. Our total spend with the state of Indiana certified suppliers for the quarter was upwards of $10 million, spent with other agents that were not certified, about $2.5 million, for a total diverse spend of about $12,500,000. Our Tier 1 spends include $2.8 million that was paid to diverse companies that were certified by other agents, but are qualified as small businesses. Tier 2 had 99% of its transactions and 72% of its spend with diverse or small businesses. There were certain elements that impacted our quarterly spend for this quarter. We had an unreportable item. I want to thank Keisha and the entire team at IDOA for walking us through what those protocols should be moving forward. On a current construction project, the certified diverse supplier spend was unable to be counted towards our MBE goal attainment because it was part of a joint venture. And although the supplier is a 15% equity partner, the entire joint venture needs to be certified in order for the diverse spend to be able to be counted. That quarterly negative impact was upwards of $300,000, and that will be quarterly about that. The JV partnership is not common. It's usually a CMC arrangement, or you have the normal mentor-protege protocols in place. So this is not something that will happen on an ongoing basis, and will be forewarned for any future agreements with our primes. We continue to struggle we continue to be negatively impacted by non-certified diverse suppliers in our pipeline. As an action item, we've identified those suppliers in our current pipeline that are not currently certified with the state of Indiana, and are beginning outreach efforts to encourage their certification with the state by making them aware of the resources that IDOA and its staff provide, and to hold their hands through the process should they need assistance, and provide them with outreach opportunities to professional organizations and counsel and assistance for paperwork and those types of things. So we continue to use partners in our supplier network that could be helpful to them, because we understand that small businesses very often don't have a lot of overhead and staff in order to dedicate their time to getting the certifications, however easy IDOA has made it with the digitization of everything. Our procurement professionals continue to source suppliers through the Office of Supplier Diversity, and it's an ongoing process that we use. I want to take this time to thank my colleagues at the other SEIs, because very often when we're trying to source something for an RFP, we can lean on each other and ask who they have in their pipeline that is certified. So we can double down on the kind of business that we're giving small businesses in all of the campuses that we serve. Capital projects, as you can see, are robust at the university and include current and upcoming opportunities on the left, and we have opportunities at Fort Wayne for the music school and for our Indianapolis campus, as well as we expand Purdue and Indianapolis. We are engaging at a high level with all community partners to support diverse business opportunities across the state in both the public and private sectors. And we are reinstating the Supplier Diversity Advocacy Council started by Jesse Moore. And beginning in late spring, the council will assist our office in achieving goals for growth in our supplier network, the enrichment of our supplier-university relationship, and the program format for the relationship to partnership supplier event that we hold annually in the fall. And I did practice in front of the mirror.
Thank you so much. Any questions, Commissioner?
Yep. Who are some of your vendor partners that you're using to point them to IDOA for certification process?
Well, we work very closely with IDOA too, and the certification staff to make sure. I mean, it's as easy as an email or a phone call.
Sure,
they're very engaged with us, and so I take the initiative myself to get them connected. But should they have any issues, they know they can come straight to me or to Keisha and her team, and we haven't had any problems. So we do a lot of hand holding personally.
Yeah. So would you say Mid-States or one of the other?
All of them, yes.
Yeah.
And then there are private entities that do help businesses get certified. Okay. And so, and that is an up-and-coming business unit where there are several diverse suppliers that do that very thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And next up, we have IB Tech.
Good afternoon. Marcus Bickle, Executive Director of Strategic Sourcing for Ivy Tech Community College. I am seeing a lot of new faces, so I apologize to the folks that have been here and have heard me say this before. A little bit of background on how Ivy Tech functions. We have 19 campuses throughout the entire state, so a lot of our procurement is done at the campus level. So a lot of our discussions over during my time here have been working with the campuses to work on their efforts specific to supplier diversity. Prior to my time here, still to this time, we've had pretty decent numbers due to our facilities teams having great, doing really well with their construction projects. Construction projects dried up last year, and it became evident by our numbers, and so we started saying, hey, campuses, you all need to, put in some work as well. So that is a lot of our efforts right now. So to kind of be a little more specific with that is, at each of our campuses, we have a vice chancellor of finance, which is essentially kind of like the CFO of that campus. They have regular meetings. We also have diversity, equity, and belonging leads at each campus. So we are working with encouraging a lot of interaction between diversity, equity, and belonging teams, as well as the business office and finance teams, to start to do outreach within their communities to improve their numbers and work with new certification, and well as just increase their vendor base. So So that's an ongoing effort that we are doing there. It's a little bit like turning around the Titanic, but we're getting there. So just, so some of the project successes, 8 of our 19 campuses were over 20% MBE spend last quarter. So there are some that are doing really well, and then there are some that are struggling a little bit more. And so encouraging the ones to keep going that are doing well, and working with the ones that are that need a little bit of help. So, and so even though I talked about our 19 campuses, obviously we report as one single college. So our aggregate numbers, our weighted averages for both our MBE spend and the WBE spend increased over the last quarter, which I think the MBE spent met the goal. WBE was a little bit below, but hopefully, we try to take the wins where we can with the increases. Our professional services, our MBE spend is double what the goal is, and our WBE spend, while it's still a little bit below the goal, it did increase almost 50% over the last quarter. So, and then construction in general. Still below goals, but we are starting to see them increase pretty well over the last couple of quarters. So, and then one last thing that I don't have up on the screen, our Indianapolis campus has a $30+ million capital project coming up, and Pepper Construction is having an event on March 5th, which is a diversity outreach event, and that project will be highlighted at that event, which will also include some discussion about when the bidding for the different services, different trades are going to be coming up over for that project. So, all right.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioners?
What was the date of the?
March 5th.
Thank you.
And you've mentioned that quarter over quarter, your numbers have gone up, which is tremendous. Thank you for that hard work. Can you tell us what you attribute that to?
I really think a lot of it is the outreach to the campuses. When I started, I've been with college for a little over 2 years. The numbers would kind of show up, and it was really, I think, driven by construction. And the way that I understand it is the previous legislative session, there were no new construction projects. So when our construction projects dried up, so did a lot of our numbers. And we are now also, each of our campuses present to our leadership twice a year, and this is now a slide as part of the overall campus report. And so our CFO, who I wouldn't say was in my position, but presented to the commission a few times, so he's very aware of this, likes to let the campuses know when they see the numbers and go, hey, you're not doing very well. We need you to do a little bit better. So the campuses are taking it much more seriously than I think they've had to in the past.
So congratulations on your, look like your veterans percentages, they're up. I don't know what they were before, but congratulations on that. I love to see our veterans at work. Number two, on your outreaches, do you have a specific, example you can give us for the outreach? How, in terms of your attraction for your construction projects, although you had some dry moments?
Well, for the construction projects, I would, that one I'm going to defer a little bit, because much like we are bifurcated throughout campuses, our facilities is different than the group that I work with. So, but I think, I'll look at our Indianapolis campus specifically, is they have taken this very seriously, and they are well-staffed as well. So some of our smaller campuses aren't quite as staffed, but our Indianapolis campus, I think, has 6 or 7 people that are procurement. So we'll have a group that are working on the capital project, but then they'll have some that are gearing their outreach to for the kind of the ongoing their ongoing services. So last last summer, last June. Matter of fact, that would be the next one really quick, is that June 20th of this year, we're having our next Supplier Diversity event for Indianapolis campus. They did like a full hour presentation where they talked about some of the successes that they've had with some of their partner companies who also spoke at that meeting or at that presentation. But that was a goal to both say, these are some of the successes we've had, but we need more of you, which also led to an additional hour or so of networking where they were able to identify some new suppliers as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. Next up, we have University of Southern Indiana.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Spahn, the Director of Procurement at the University of Southern Indiana. Start off our numbers for this past quarter. Our MBE overall was at 7.27%, our WBE at 28%. Attribute that to our construction. We have 1.4 million, I believe, close in our construction on WBE. Our MBE would be up higher, but we have 0% in construction on that, and so we're working, trying to get that built up a little more. Our veteran was just under 1%, so we're continuing trying to work there. As you can see, the projects upcoming, we have several on there. One of the ones I'll point out is the Right Administration building renovation. Next week, we have 4 architect companies coming in. 3 of those are WBE certified. That made the cut to come in for presentations in front of the president and upper cabinet. So hopefully we'll be awarding that in the next month or so on as far as that goes. Next week we also have a Athenaeum HVAC bid going out, so hopefully we'll get some participation there. And then shortly after we'll have our creative print building going up for construction. As well as we have a lawn mowing bid already out. These are kind of just our everyday. We've got a summer swish program that may be either refrigerators or other appliances, furniture. So all those as well are opportunities that are out right now. Some of the outreach things we've done recently, I've talked about this in previous meetings, and I know some of you are new, so this will be new, but we partnered with EREP and the Southwest Indiana Small Business in Evansville on it's been about a year-long partnership where our College of Business provided education on the front end of the program, and then there was the middle program of some financing that we didn't participate, but then our procurement department's participating in the marketing efforts. And so they had their first cohort graduate in December. There were 11 companies, and they all gave 10-minute elevator pitches, and we attended. And so far, I've met with 3 of those 11. And one of the companies, we had already had a little bit of established business with them, but they went and worked with Keisha's area and became recertified. So now we can start counting their spend again. And so I'm pretty happy with that. Just, that's a success story for my book. But we're hoping to continue to build that. Danielle Powell is here in the room representing, so we're looking forward to the year coming and really growing the partnerships from that in the Evansville area. So with that, that is my presentation today. A minute early.
Thank you. Questions from the commissioners?
Is EREP a certified vendor as well?
No, EREP is the Evansville Regional Economic Partnership.
Okay.
It's an organization down in Evansville. I can't remember the prior name it had, but it was rebranded a few years back.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, Vincennes University.
Keisha, I forgot my hearing aid, so I won't be taking questions.
Okay.
You can borrow mine.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael Morrison. I'm Director of Purchasing for Vincennes University. I'm also risk manager, and all other duties is assigned. I welcome all the new people. Unfortunately, my numbers aren't where they usually be. This is the first time I did not greatly exceed the WBE spend since 2018. Bad timing, I guess, I don't know. Last quarter, I'd noticed that as a university in whole, our spend was not where it normally is, so everything was down across the board. I spent a lot of time buying equipment, and unfortunately, when you're buying equipment for a university, you're usually working with the manufacturer or a manufacturer's representative. I spent a lot of time focusing on our construction and our projects that's out for bid, especially our new health science building. I worked with, made sure Rose Emily and a lot of our partners had the opportunity to get in touch with our prime. We ended up with, we haven't awarded it yet and cut the POs, but we ended up with Empire Contracting out of Evansville, Wire Electric and Huntingburg Machine, both out of Du Bois County, and Kearns Excavation out of Knox County. All great companies, but unfortunately I have limited, none of them qualify as an XBE. They did note some Tier 2 spend, which I'll be tracking. Some great Tier 2 companies. Rose Emily wasn't high. Her bid was higher, so she didn't get the fire safety stuff. I had one company that did finish their onboarding, and that was Monarch Industries. We use them as a WBE professional services. It's Kara Monroe. Did you ever run into Kara Monroe?
No.
Nope, didn't ring a bell. Okay, she was formerly with Ivy Tech, a former provost. So, so next.
I have. Yes.
Yes.
It just rang a bell. Yes.
Ah, okay, good. So next quarter, I'll be able to report her spend. The aviation tech, those bids came in through Rose Emily Geyer. She gave me a referral to Connor Pating, which was an MBE up here in Indianapolis. We exchanged a lot of emails. She showed up at the pre-bid, and they elected not to bid. There was something within it that she felt uncomfortable bidding. So I always try to reach out to figure what we could do better or what we missed, and just to make sure that opportunity's out there. Down on the bottom, I have my annual services, and I split those out, so Geyer is bidding on both of those, so I can award them together or I can award them independently. Her service manager was on campus Tuesday to make sure we had all ducks in a row. On my form that you guys had, I noted some successes, and they were professional services, but all of them were WBEs. Okay.
You're done? Thank you. Questions from the commissioners?
No, just congratulations on your veteran numbers. Is that, am I looking at that correct? 8.46, is that right?
Yes.
I think you deserve a hand for that. Our veterans.
Thank you, thank you. I'm a Air Force veteran myself, and so, you just know a lot of the veterans in the local market, and I was extremely successful through the years working with Keisha to encourage them to become certified.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have Ball State University.
Good afternoon. Roger Hasensall, Director of Purchasing Services for Ball State University. The numbers obviously are not where we want them. They haven't been for the last 2-3 years. We continue to struggle with it. So I will get to what we're trying to do to help these numbers rise. And it's definitely not because of effort, but we are definitely not slowing down. We continue to strategize, we continue to move forward, and try to find new partners. Currently, we have hired a consulting company to come in, Huron Consulting. They're working with us through procurement with a strategy plan and looking at what our overall master plan is. Everything from our last 2 years, 100% of our spend, has been shared with them. Every single policy, procedure, bidding threshold has been shared with them to evaluate and come back with us and try to help us strategize, are there ways within the boundaries of being good stewards of state funds at the same time being a strong supporter of diversity spend and diversity partnerships. Those are some of the things we're doing. We're also, we have a diversity spend task force team that has been appointed by the president of the university, and we are re-strategizing and road mapping that to make sure that it is beneficial at every angle. Our biggest issue, as it has been with others, is in construction and professional spend. Those we do bid out, and the ones that we do not bid out are already sole source for specific reasons that are beyond my control to be able to bid out. It may be something within legal service, it may be other things that happen. But we don't give up. We still have the meetings with these areas and continue to provide them with very capable, diversified suppliers that we believe are very competitive and able to compete. Unfortunately, again, in our construction area, we will reach out, we will pull in, and at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to be, the bidding seems to be repeatedly, some very large construction companies seem to win those bids. So what we have started to do to strategize there is, like, we have a roundtable on March 14th. And we're pulling in all these large construction companies and other suppliers that are winning these bids on a pretty consistent basis. And we're pulling in all the diversified businesses that will join us. And we're allowing them to present and then partner. And we're strongly suggesting to the large companies to partner with or pull on as tier 2. When I say strongly, I mean there's been several conversations, and we continue to push that. We do have a language within our agreement saying what we would like the participation to be. Unfortunately, there's no language saying it's a mandate. And I cannot get that in there right now. I continue to, but there are reasons beyond me that is not there, but we continue to work on it. We continue to focus on it. We hold a diversity chat every Wednesday at Ball State, 2 to 3. And that is for diversified businesses. My entire team is there, as they are all week, anytime anybody wants to call, but they're there front and center on that Zoom to answer any questions. If any diversified business has been trying to contact us, talk to us, or they're trying to contact even an outside entity and they cannot, we will assist with that in any and every way we can. We've been strategizing internally to make sure processes are in place, that the departments are trained in understanding that it's not just a one-time spot, feel-good moment buy with a diversified business, but part of each department's everyday process to ensure that they are reaching out for a diversified business to involve them when they're going out to purchase products or services. Those are training methods that we're trying to use. Again, we're also advertising throughout our campus community on communication boards. We're strategizing with our Inclusive Excellence Committee, our department, with the AVP of Inclusive Excellence to see what abilities or things they have in place that they can partner with us to help us succeed at this. It is an everyday goal in the procurement department, and we are making it an everyday goal in every department within our university. We will get there. We are putting things in place that will build this. I'm confident on that. Extremely disappointed as everyone else that we're not there yet.
Thank you. Questions from commissioners?
Just a comment.
No, go ahead.
Just a comment. I heard words from you I've never heard before. Mandate, every day working at it. I hope others hear that. That's what it takes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And relative to that mandate, you said circumstances beyond your control.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that?
There are things such as when you try to implement, for instance, sometimes you have to look at everybody's side and angle of it. Like one time we pushed to say, we want to mandate, put in every construction project. We want to mandate, put in there saying that it has to be this amount of participation by a diversified company. But then sometimes reality comes back and they say, okay, where are the funds going to come from if they can't find a diversified company and now the project owner says, I'm going on the other side of Indianapolis because I cannot find a diversified supplier to do A, B, or C. who's coming up with those funds? Who's going to pay for the increase in that project cost? So we have to back up, relook at that, and strategize, and we'll go back with them and try to come to a conclusion with them that everyone wins. And when I say everyone, we win when we get diversified suppliers. Anybody that's worked with a diversified supplier, I've said this in my chats, I say this every day, they have had to work harder. They've had to go over more hurdles, and they have more pride in their business and their services than anyone else you could ever meet. So to be able to pull them on as partners is a plus for our university, and that's the message that we want to get out there.
I have the last question. You said you hired a consulting firm?
We have, yes.
Okay, is the consulting firm WBE, MBE, or BBE certified?
I wish it was, but they had to go through an RFP process to obtain that professional service, and Huron Consulting won that bid. But we did reach out and have diversified competition in there and did invite.
Thank you. Any other questions from commissioners?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't really have a question statement. Probably should have waited till everyone was done. But I've been on Supply and Diversity for 12, 14 years. And we always come to these meetings to get one excuse after another. I just don't believe that a university that teaches how to be successful in life, how to be successful in the business world, cannot find people to meet these numbers. And I offered a bill, House Bill 1077, co-authored by Representative Joanne King. It said if you miss your numbers by 25%, then we would withhold 25% of your money. And I think that's what's going to happen in order to get these numbers up. It did not get a hearing on the bill, which is not uncommon, but I will offer it again next year to make sure that this commission reaches our goals, because just coming to a meeting to hear an excuse is a waste of my time and everybody else's time here. If we can work with the universities or whomever to get the numbers up, if there's something we can do, tell us. But I do think that bill, once we can get that bill intact, it will make a difference. Thank you.
Well, I will just say, on Ball State's part, and for me, I'm not coming here with excuses. I'm coming here looking for solutions. And if you have solutions, I'm looking for those. I would like those. I would like, no more than anybody else in this room, to see those numbers rise and those partnerships increase. So I will just say that upon Ball State's part. We don't come here looking to give you excuses. We come here to be transparent and tell you if you have solutions, please bring them to us. It's why we're hiring consulting companies. It's why we're strategizing. It's why we're going through and looking. We appear here each and every time, obviously. And again, we don't appear here to give you excuses. Number one, if you have solutions, we're open to them. At least I'm open to them. And if you can help us get there, please.
And I don't think you're on the hot seat or anything like that. Your numbers are what your numbers are because, of course, you have your different challenges you're facing. I think one of the challenges that I would raise in conjunction to everyone else is, the strategies you're using to really raise your numbers. And as a recommendation of, well, what are some of the ways? I'm looking for solutions. Are we teaming up some of these larger primes with the women-owned, minority-owned, and veteran-owned businesses? Are we fostering those relationships in a meaningful way, right? And I'm pretty sure you've tried those different things, but how much of that from a percentage-wise, a percentile, that you can show that, hey, this is what we're doing, and we can see the change happening, or we cannot see the change, or we see we can make the tweaks. So I think that's one of the things that
would come to my mind, just, hearing that. Of course, your veteran numbers are a little bit higher than the other numbers, which is great, but we want to also tackle the other numbers as well. So that would be my comment on that.
And you hit a mark on, which is why we're doing the March 14th event to pull those together, diverse businesses and the larger companies. We've done those events before. We've evaluated after. There has been some successes. The amount of success we want is not there yet, but we're already looking at evaluating the next one and looking at the outcome. We're not just having the event to say we had it. We'll look at those afterwards and see what become of it and where we can improve on the next event to be successful.
Madam Chair, if I might, this was not a direct attack to Ball State.
Oh, and I know, and I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that we really do, and if you have ideas, I can tell you, our president on down is in it all the way, and we want to move this up.
So
We're struggling with it.
I'm no stranger to construction, right? I would say that if you can train your project managers that there's a social cost involved in constructing projects and how to build that into their bids, that will make you have a better outcome.
Thank you.
Also,
You were someone I was going to lean on anyhow, so we'll be talking at some point.
Also, I'd like to add, partnering with Mid-States and WeBank specifically, asking for their help in increasing those numbers. Even outside of their database, you can sit down with them and actually create a strategic plan to actually increase those numbers.
So as most know, we are members, but yes, that's a great idea.
You
Sit down with them.
Of both WeBank and Mid-State?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Roger.
All right, thank you.
Last but certainly not least, the Indiana University. We've got to get you some theme music or something as you.
You get me excited. Well, thank you for allowing us to come here and appreciate what we're trying to do, and hopefully we can all do better. For the last two commission meetings, I've concentrated more so on presenting business opportunities as opposed to presenting what's in the rearview mirror of what our performance is. We are like the rest of the schools. We have to get our spend dollars up, particularly in the MBE column, the veteran column, and particularly in professional services. So what I have before you here is just the one slide. What is it? Okay, one slide that presents our opportunities, and if you look, the left side of the slide is the Office of Procurement, business opportunities. The right side of the slide is capital planning and facilities business opportunities. And up near the top left, you'll see a link where it says for IU purchasing, public bid posting, scope here. That is a link. And what's displayed down below are the current opportunities that we'd like for companies to take a look at. There's a contact person off to the right, a very brief description of the opportunity. When you click on the contact person, they will send you, they'll ask you for some basic information and then send you the RFP or the RFQ, and you go from there. Below there is quick results on our search tool. As you know, in the past, I presented and touted the fact that we have a search tool that is linked to the state's list of diverse suppliers. And so anyone internally or externally can do a quick search and find diverse suppliers and make it easy for them. The results of this update runs from September 1st through January 31st, September 1st of 23 to January 1st of 31st of this year. The numbers there, the number of views, as well as the number of, can't see that, total.
Users, total users.
Total users, yes. So number of views versus total users. And then there is an engagement rate in purple. What that means is that someone, whoever clicked on the search tool, spent 10 or more seconds engaging and flipping through and trying to find diverse suppliers. That's important for us because we're state funded. You're expecting us to do better. That's the reason that search tool was created. Let's go to the right side of that slide. There's a link at the very top to the right where it says for projects advertised for bids, et cetera, go here. You click on that link. What I've done is listed several of our larger projects that are publicly posted, each one with a link, and there's $242 million of sum total of those projects. Below there is repair and rehab projects that total somewhere around $47 million. And there's a breakdown spreadsheet that shows which campuses has which projects for that total $47+ million for fiscal year '24. Any questions? I had more to say, but I have no.
So your engagement rate, I guess, what's the success rate look like for you for that column?
It's pretty good. It's pretty consistent from the previous reports. We do a great job of trying to get the word out and trying to make it easier for those who have spend responsibilities or who influence purchasing decisions to find state-certified diverse supply. That's the reason that tool was created. We are seeing some successes with it, but it's not really reflected on a large enough scale to impact our spend dollars. I will say that the closeout of fiscal year '23, end of July of '23, we had our best quarter since I've been with the university because our MBE totals were somewhere around 10%. Our women totals average, on the average, 7 to 12%. Veteran was up around 1.5% for the fourth quarter of fiscal year '23. The overall entire fiscal year, that leveraged us, the average spend was somewhere around a little bit over 5% for MBE. I think we were around 8 or 9% WBE. I don't have the numbers with me. And we were like 1 or 1.5% or 1.25% on the veteran. So we're still working at it based on everything that I've shared with you, the strategies that we've employed. I'm lobbying and talking to companies that are at engagement opportunities, networking opportunities, to partner up, to assemble, to build capacity so that they can chase the larger scale projects. We struggle like the rest of the universities. We can put it out there, but if they don't respond, and I think a lot of times companies don't respond because they don't have the capacity to. So,
Yeah, what does partnering up look like to your organization?
what I envision is companies like in the construction space is specialty trades. What typically happens is they get a phone call, they get an email to say, we're doing, from a prime, we're doing this project and can you bid on this particular trade? Well, if you assemble all of them together, you build capacity and they form a formal joint venture, they can do it themselves. They can compete themselves. That's my feeling on this. And so I'll be picking up the phone and call you to be a part of that discussion. As well as you, Mr.
Coates.
Coates, right? Yeah, Mr.
Commissioner
Coates. We've had several conversations before, never met you in person. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Any other questions?
Oh,
All right.
well, no other questions? Thank you, sir.
Maybe we have one more for him.
All right, well, next up, we have the NDOT DBE program update. Commissioner Crawford?
Sure. So, welcome, fellow commissioners. Good to see you all. I'm Libby Crawford. I am the Director of Equity Initiative Services at NDOT. NDOT is the sole certifier for the federal DBE program in the state of Indiana, and so a lot of what you hear from my report will be based on those numbers. Feel free to ask questions at any time. I'm not subject to Graham's 4-minute rule, so, though I typically get my stuff done in less than 4 minutes, right? Yeah. So for DBE certification data for the first quarter, through February 9th, we have 781 currently certified DBEs. Now, of that stable of DBEs, probably only around 100 do work for NDOT, and so there's a wide variety of folks that seeks federal certification for a wide variety of reasons. If you want more information on that, please feel free to see me after, or Keisha, we could even do a one-off talk about certification standards for our new folks if they'd like to hear that. So. We also worked through an expedited certification process agreement with the city of Indianapolis. I don't know if Fahad is here. I didn't see him sneak in, or anybody from the city, but we've worked with the city. So the federal program has the most stringent standards simply because we have an economic component attached to our program. Most of the rest of the standards are exactly the same. And so the city has a rule that they can only really visit the donut counties because of their staffing capacity. We visit the entire state. And so we're able to share our expertise and our on-sites with the city and help them to get folks certified a little quicker in their program. So we have that agreement in place with the city of Indianapolis. For DBE outreach information, so our quarterly highlights, we do a power session every other Friday for certified DBEs on a variety of topics. They're typically general business topics. It's free of charge, and it's things like OSHA, overhead recovery, first impressions, how to write contracts, how to do capability statements, things like that. We provide free of service to any certified DBE. We're working on providing power sessions in Spanish this year for the first time. And our first business development program, which is typically a week-long intensive class of those kinds of things, began on January 30th. We are also planning an in-person BDP for this year. We think it will very likely focus on one of our major projects. So the easiest way to get people to do things right, introduce them to our major projects, is to get them that in-person training right before they start the project. So we have several major projects ongoing. Ohio River Crossing is out for letting and will be let on March, I don't know the date, I'm sorry, off the top of my head, the end of March this year. And then we'll also have the I-70, Revive I-70 in the Richmond area also being let this year. And those are multi-million-dollar, hundreds of multi-million-dollar contracts that will need small business participation. So, oh, I put it right there. I didn't read my own bullet point. Revive I-70 outreach also took place on February 13th. So we try to provide networking opportunities for those that are bidding these major projects as primes to network with DBEs and bring new DBEs onto their project teams. So next slide, please. We're working on some micro-learning opportunities for DBEs. So some one-off things about very technical federal requirements, things like doing certified payrolls properly, paying wages properly to tradespeople, understanding federal changes. So for the first time in almost 40 years, the federal certified payroll law has changed, and it just has a lot of nuances to it. It's very complicated for anyone, much less a person that's trying to run their small business. So we're trying to provide some training at that level. And the new DBE hauler orientation is also updated and available on our website, and the link is embedded in the presentation as well. So in 2024, what are our new initiatives this spring? We're launching a DBE SEAL program. It provides recognizable marketing opportunities for DBEs, pre-qualification reimbursement, which we talked about last time, and DBE of the Month will be featured on NDOT social media channels launching in April of 2024. I did want to give just a brief workforce update. I apologize. My workforce folks were wiped out last week with COVID, so I was like, I didn't put the slide in, but I wanted to give you an update. So we are currently running a class for adults learning heavy highway technical skills in Evansville called BY Roads. The reason it's in Evansville is because we're getting ready to launch a big bridge project there. So we currently have 14 students in that program that are learning heavy highway tech skills. We will run a class here in Indianapolis in May, and then likely another class in Evansville this fall. So the construction on roads will, on the bridge will start sometime next year. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
No questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. It's now my turn. I too am not subject to Graham's very aggressive warnings. All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Division of Supplier Diversity, we're split into 3 main functions. Our report goes over those 3 main functions. First up is the business outreach updates. Business outreach, that team has grown by 2. It was once held, Graham held it down for months. He now has 2 new team members. If you can, please stand, Tyler Ayers and Austin Van Wagner. Our outreach team is dynamic. They've brought some new lenses to the Division of Supplier Diversity. If you go to our social media pages, you will see we are doing some new things, vendor spotlights, where we're able to go out and record vendors at their location and interviews and just some new things that they bring to the team. We're so grateful to have them. Our conference series for 2024 is Energizing and Empowering You in Business. Our conference season will kick off next month. We will have a DSD, so Division of Supplier Diversity one-on-one, and that goes over what it is that we do for everyone that is, it's the start of the year. A lot of people know that we exist but may not know what we do. So all of the team members will be present. We will be there going over outreach, their focus, certification, as well as contract compliance. Next slide, please. So our certification updates, we are an electronic certification platform. We no longer and haven't did paper applications for almost a year now. So with that, we no longer have a backlog. We are working in current real-time applications. So I am so excited. A big hand to the certification team. The director of certification is there at the registration table, Peter Sobin. We have 2 certification specialists. They work really hard every day to make sure that we're getting through those certification applications. So we thank you all when we were experiencing a backlog for your patience with us while we got through those tough times. So the total number of certified vendors has went up since last year. It is up by 14%. Yes, we are doing great things. So, and then our total number of total certified businesses and certifications has went up by 41%. So that is the numbers that you see there, how many we have certified with us, and also how many applications we have processed. And I know at the start of 2024, we were working with SOAR Consulting, and that is with our Commissioner Franklin here, who we had a 24 and 24 feat that she had to get for the All-Stars, the All-Star program. And so we were able to get the majority of those applications processed. As soon as they hit our electronic certification platform, we were taking a look at them for eligibility of certification, and they were processed, I would say, within 48 hours of receiving them. So I attribute the All-Star program to our numbers being as high as they are currently. Next slide, please. Our compliance updates, we continue to bridge the gap between DSD and other vendor and contract management teams. So we work across the state of Indiana, the contract teams that oversee any state contract that has minority women and veteran-owned participation on those. Our contract compliance team is responsible for monitoring that compliance of those vendors on those contracts. No movement can be made on those contracts that have subcontractor participation, supplier diversity subcontractor participation without our approval. So we are responsible for getting the message out about we are here, this is what we do. We're advocating for our certified vendors as well as our prime vendors on those contracts. We attend and present at IDO pre-proposal meetings. So when the RFP hits the streets, we are there to talk about what our participation is in that. So how many points they receive, if there is any participation, and again, just getting the word out about, you know, our involvement in the contract process. So that's only before and after. And then I'm happy to announce that along with the great work that our contract compliance team is doing, we have a employee of the month. He is the only employee of contract compliance. I'm not sure, Eli, is he may be, Eli is an employee of the month. He's not here. And that is because he is also helping out our ledge director who is out on maternity leave. Eli has been sitting in at the legislative director meetings. He has also been at all of the hearings, just doing great things and helping out, going above and beyond the duties that are assigned to him. And so he was awarded Employee of the Month this year. So happy and proud of my team this year.
That's how he got Employee of the Month.
Yes. That, as you know, those legislative meetings are not for the faint at heart.
Everyone's looking at you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the time. Next up, we have the IDOA Procurement Report. Deputy Commissioner Aaron Kellum.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I am Erin Kellum, the Deputy Commissioner for Procurement. Graham's not going to have to say a word to me because these are real quick. I have the ability to pull actual payments paid to certified vendors because these are prime vendors. So these are the vendors that the state has a direct contract with. So we are able to very closely track monies actually paid to them. So as you can see from the numbers up there, we're working on it. As Keisha explained, members of her team come to our pre-proposal conferences. We make sure that there's points assigned. There is a definite benefit to primes if they partner with certified subs. We are in the fortunate situation with the state of Indiana that we don't have to do low bid wins in my shop. So there's a subjective component, a cost component, and then also a component set aside for those primes that are smart enough to pair with a certified vendor. And the competition for our jobs and our projects is tight, and it often does come down to which vendor partnered and which vendor gets those certified points. So we also ask the vendors to tell us why they aren't using any certified vendors. We want them to explain that. And Keisha's team does a great job of pointing the primes into the direction of where they can get certified vendors if they don't have those business relationships. And we're always looking for new ways to help build those bridges because the projects that have certified primes are just typically more successful, and we can sing those praises as well. So, any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. As a matter of new business, we will take just a few minutes of time to have the new commissioners. Everyone keeps saying they see new faces, and you do. We have 5 new commissioners. And if we can, just for the new commissioners, if you can briefly just state your name, your company name, and just give a little bit of background on yourself, please. So we'll start with you, Commissioner Coates.
Great. My name is Maurice Coates. Excuse me. My company is C&K United Sheet Metal Mechanical out of Evansville, Indiana. We incorporated in 1997. We're certified MBE, DBE, National Minority Supplier Diversity as well. We're certified in 14 states. We do structural steel, glass and glazing, and foam panel installation and purchase. We're always looking for opportunities, and it's a pleasure being on this board to learn some of the behind the board efforts to include people, something that I have been wanting to do and help for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lund.
Thank you. My name is Nick Lund, President and CEO of Cornerstone Construction Group, located here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're a CM firm, also handle some horizontal work as well. We've been in business for over 10 years now and done very well here. As a matter of fact, as a notable project, we're working as a partner with Shield Saxton on Victory Field in terms of the build out for it, which is looking fabulous, by the way. And just glad to be a part of this committee to serve and make a difference. Also to see, some of the other woman-owned, veteran-owned, minority-owned contractors get the opportunity to grow their organizations here in our state, our great state of Indiana. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Slager?
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Carol Slager, owner of Equal Healthy Lifestyles. I am a health coach. My background, I am also a pharmacist who left retail around 2011 to help people learn how to become healthier, where they can enjoy cupcakes, yet still maintain a healthy lifestyle and maybe not need so much medication, right? I think there's just a great balance in how to do that, and that's what I love to coach people. I work with one-on-one in groups and do speaking and also a lot of writing for our newspaper where I live as far as helping them, people just learn how to get healthy. I just think it's important that people have that option. So I'm humbled and honored to be a part of this group. As a coach, I love to keep learning because that's how I keep my edge to coach the people I work with, and I'm very grateful to be here. And wow, I've learned a lot just in one day, so thank you all so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Franklin, I know you did it last time, but would you?
Okay. Hi, Angela Franklin. I am CEO and president of SOAR Consulting. What we do is we specialize in minority business training, certifications, workshops in English and Spanish, just leveraging your company to the next level. My background is Deputy Director for Office of Minority and Women Business Development for the City of Indianapolis, as well as recently being the Executive Vice President of Mid-States Minority Supplier Development Council for approximately 4 years. So thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you all. I mentioned 5. There's one who is not here with us today, Commissioner Darren Patterson. He is our Southern Commissioner. His business is the Mortgage Company of Southern Indiana, Inc. All of the new commissioners were highlighted on our social media page. If you go to our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you want to take a look at more information about our new commissioners, please visit our social media pages. And then last up for new business, we have Erin Eady. She is the Minority Business Initiatives Director, and she is going to give a brief presentation over the initiatives that her program will be offering.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Erin Eady. I am the Director of the Indiana Minority Business Initiative. I'd like to thank Commissioner Jeffers and Deputy Commissioner Rich for extending the invitation for me to be here today, and also thank Commissioner Dr. Halerta for allowing me time for public comments. And also, I'd like to greet all of the higher education institution representatives and other guests that are here today. The Minority Business Initiative, MBI, is operated by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, headquartered here in Indianapolis, and is funded in part by a federal grant by the U.S. Department of Commerce through the Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA. My work as the director of the MBI is supervised directly by Natasha Jensen-Mata, VP of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the IEDC, and also David Watkins, Senior Vice President of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the IEDC. The total funding awarded for this grant is $1.6 million, and the total budget for this project is $2.1 million. And the project term is from September 1st, 2022 through June 30th of 2026. The Minority Business Initiative's mission is to support Hoosier minority business owners by helping them, 1, better navigate the growing ecosystem of entrepreneurial resources, services, and networks statewide, 2, increase their competitiveness for certification and contract capital, and 3, grow, expand, and retain their businesses and jobs through advising and technical assistance initiatives. The MBI aims to close the gap for minority businesses to connect with and compete for certification and contracting opportunities through programmatic initiatives and strategic partnerships, all while contributing collaboratively and meaningfully to the entrepreneurial ecosystem statewide. The MBI is not purposed to duplicate efforts of existing ecosystem partners. Instead, this initiative will provide targeted assistance to historically underserved groups of entrepreneurs and small businesses and create an on-ramp to business development resources and opportunities in Indiana. For the purposes of this grant established by the MBDA, minority populations include historically underrepresented racial and ethnic minority groups, and there are terms within our proposal to include efforts to support businesses owned by women, veterans, and people with disabilities. MBI's strategic plan is best conceptualized as a 5-section funnel. The MBI will engage small business and minority entrepreneur clients at the top of the funnel, interacting with and being serviced by various program partners with increasing specialty as they move down towards the bottom of the funnel. So top down, those 5 parts are outreach and advising, ongoing partner programming and events, certification, contracting readiness, and Federal and Department of Defense contracting. Program activities within each of these 5 sections will fulfill one or more of our following grant priority areas, which are ecosystem navigation, business development, and capacity building. As you all know, the entrepreneurial ecosystem is seeing increasing demand from both minority suppliers looking to access specialized knowledge, education, and resources to attain certification, and from buyer institutions looking to increase their network of minority suppliers to reach their spend goals. This converging demand requires more capacity in the form of advisors, instructors, and subject matter experts in the XBE certification space. Again, MBI does not intend to take away from or replace any existing resources within this space, but rather be a convener to synchronize and centralize minority supplier certification and sourcing network resources. Our ask of everyone in this room, commissioners, representatives of higher education institutions, other guests, other minority business owners in this room, our ask is to please contact me. I'll be here after this meeting adjourns, letting me know your ideas and or interests to partner with the MBI, to collaborate with the MBI, to provide equitable access to certification programming for minority businesses statewide, or please make introductions of individuals with whom you have worked who are specialty advisors in the certification space, specifically at the non-federal, non-DOD level. They obviously can include individuals who have had that work, but we're looking to work with subject matter experts who can provide resources in that space as well. So this concludes my comments, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioners? Thank you, Aaron. Well, this has been our meeting. When you talk to Chairman Wilson, just say Keisha did a great job. And I got you out of here early. You all, thank you so much. Thank you to the commissioners, state representatives. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our audience, our vendors. You all have a great day.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.